Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen. What is happening? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Mad love and respect, gang. What is happening, Habs the trade? Go Pacer, start that. What is happening, guys? We got some movement in the charts as always. Today's live is going to be all about price action. We're going to dive into a little bit of news, but we know what the news is saying, guys. So we're going to go into some price action very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin doing its thing. Mad love and respect to everyone passing through. Helen, what is good? Pancho, what's happening, Hefe? What is good, guys? Our Taz, where you been, brother? Mad love from Denmark. Slovakia, what is happening? Amir, what's good? Who's in the room with me this morning, guys? Yes, we are about to bring that fire, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ourselves prepared, getting ready to bring in this price action that we've got by Bitcoin right now, flirting with that 20K range, ladies and gentlemen. Victoria, what's good? Crypto, big brains, what's happening? Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, I know the music is pumping right now. This track is fire. Love this beat. South Africa, what is happening? Man is actually rapping. Listen, we got to break it down, bro. Like, we're about to break down the charts. You understand? We got to hype ourselves up and get ready for the madness that's about to commence. Wicked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get with the flavor. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. And if it is your first time, let's have a conversation, guys. Okay, what is good? Now, Bitcoin's doing something very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a lot of news regarding the euro this morning, given that the banks, the ECB, should I say, has declared that euro bank zones, they ain't going to be getting help from the state. It's not happening. Also, word on the street says that the JOLTS job openings that's coming out today at 3 p.m. is still showing that there's still more jobs out there, but people aren't taking them. What does that mean? Does it mean that people are already content with what they've got right now and they're staying in the existing jobs? Does it mean that there's a lot of people working from home? Are people rolling out the side hustles? Or are people too scared to change their jobs? What's the story? Because we have seen that unemployment claims has been reduced. It's actually dropping down. Less people are claiming. So that only means that there's people in a position now to spend, given that consumer confidence is still high. So that means inflation is going to be still stubborn. We've also had understanding that there's going to be a cap right now on oil, which is going to help us understand that if oil is going to continue to move, if oil is going to drop down, ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about they're cutting it around towards the $75 mark is where their goal is. They want oil to get down to about 75, 74, okay? That principally means that the value of the dollar will continue to move up. Because when oil goes up, principally, dollars should be going down. And that's what you're seeing right here. You want to understand that? Go over to USD CAD. Principally, when oil goes up, it should lead dollar to go down because the Canadian dollar, when the value of oil goes up, the Canadian dollar increases as well. But you're seeing a wild disparity across the board, given that dollar is going up still. Euro is going up still. GBP, USD, trying to go up, but it seems like it's pulling back from this zone, but we have seen it continuously move up, okay? Now, Nasdaq and S&P are doing some good numbers here with the potential for them to try and roll price over because they've been going up ever since, okay? For the past 2 days, it has been moving up, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Which tells us that the yields are taking a turn for the worst. That's good news. As long as the yields are pulling back, that means it's easier for the stock market to start seeing some returns because that means that investors aren't seeking safety. They want risk. But we've got guys like Michael Burry talking about the idea that the stock market is still due to experience another move to the downside and there's going to be more pain for investors. Ultimately, the markets do like to price the future, okay? Word on the street says that it is already pricing in the idea of inflation and recession and all this madness that's happening across the board, okay? Ultimately, investment funds still need to make money for people, and that's the truth. Okay? Let's go over to Bitcoin for a split second. What's Bitcoin been up to? Let's get rid of all these lines and this madness in the chart. Here we go. So futures markets will be opening in the next, where we at? Okay, in the next 20 minutes. And what I want to do over the next 20 minutes is break down Bitcoin, Ethereum, a few altcoins, a couple of bits of Forex, and then happy days. I love you and leave you guys. So let's roll with it. Here we go. Yet again, Bitcoin at that 800 EMA. Historically, this 800 EMA, when Bitcoin is marking down, usually sees this as an opportunity to induce traders to step in and commit liquidity. You see the zone here, you see it here, and you're seeing exactly the same right here. The question on our minds is Bitcoin getting ready to continue with a move to the upside? That's the question. Go into the smaller time frames to understand the breakdown of the move, ladies and gentlemen. If Bitcoin is going to successfully pull back, okay, what you need to see Bitcoin actually aggressively come down, okay? But my concern is that I can see stopping volume candles right here, which is on the 5-minute time frame. And if we consider the volume down at the lows, let me just quickly put the volume in. EVSRA. We look at the volume of the stopping volume candle right here. It's actually worked its way in this area here. You see there's not that much liquidity as such. There's not that much interest in terms of vectors. Mr. Market Maker isn't really stepping in. This stopping volume candle right here has subsided all of this liquidity right here, which could tell us that there's something about to change with this zone, all right? Volume is rising to the upside when they make the stop hunt, as they just did in the US Brink session itself, but the green vector hasn't finalized fully. Now, principally, do we expect it to go lower by the concept of 3 hits to the high? Each attempt higher has come in lower. Now, New York futures will be opening very shortly. Now, given that the S&P and the Nasdaq have seen great moves to the upside, all right, the question is, are we about to see some profit taking in the charts? Because the markets are all in turmoil, ladies and gentlemen, any move up, they're going to want to take some profits. Now, Nasdaq has taken the recovery of the vector candle in this range right here, ladies and gentlemen, which is important because they've recovered the vector quickly. So now they're coming back into this range, okay? At the same token, USDT looks like it's starting to try and build positions. You can see they've recovered the green vector right here. And we said this in a video not so long ago, ladies and gentlemen. Can we use the US dominance chart to gauge the idea of traders now stepping back into dominance of the dollar itself? In other words, are they selling their crypto so that they can then anticipate a move down in crypto to see price come back up later on? Because principally, we would expect them to come back into this vector zone right here because the same guys that have brought crypto in this area are probably going to want to realize a return on their investment, which is why you will see price come back up into the dominance and see a recovery of this vector candle in this range. Okay? Now, what we want to be aware of as well, guys, is this. The 20K range is very important for Bitcoin. Okay? Very important. Now, if we go to the high block itself and look at the liquidation zones nearby, you can see bright as day that we have got a liquidation of $1 billion at 20,250. Okay? Down below, we have ourselves 19,250 with $1 billion, $1.1 billion worth of long liquidations. Okay? So this is our range, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the 20K range right here, 20,250, which takes us all the way up to this zone right here. Mark that off. And then we've got the 19.7, I think it was it correct? Yep, 19.7. No, 19.25. 19.25 for liquidations. Now, that looks like a bit of a wild journey in principle of price, but if you look at it on the higher time frames, it's not that much. Okay? Now, we've got vector candles down at the lows right here. We've got the daily open that hasn't been tested yet. We've got the 800 EMA. JOLTS job openings coming out at 3 p.m. today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Mester is speaking as in the next minute, Mester will be speaking. So they're going to put their view across on what they believe is going on in the marketplace itself. Rolling over to Exo Charts, you can see, look, no volume. 9 million, 10 million, 9.6, 14, 2 million, which is the current candle right now. Not really seeing a clear distinction in delta. Other than when you see this move to the upside, what does Mr. Market Maker like to do? He likes to sell into premium at the highest point, which is why you see the delta rising at the highest point in the chart. Now we don't really have any delta present other than this area here, 41%. Could this be Mr. Market Maker selling into premium at the highest point? Or could it be an indication that they're getting ready to mark price up one more time to trap the traders? In order for us to understand the flow of liquidity in the charts, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the Bookmap. What's been going on there? So this is the Bookmap over the last 96 hours, trading above the VWAP. If you notice, yesterday they came down to the VWAP and then they bounced away from it. Remember, we wanted that test of the VWAP. The VWAP came true. We got this big pool of liquidity here where 1,242 Bitcoin was absorbed. Delta at the highest point in the chart, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Now it is pretty quiet across the board, guys. There is a lot of people anticipating some profit taking in the Nasdaq, and we are in principle waiting for the yields to show their worth. If the yields keep on dropping lower, ladies and gentlemen, Nasdaq's going to keep on moving up. Okay? Nasdaq's done a good job of going over the 200 EMA. Now, the reason we pay attention to Nasdaq and S&P is because Bitcoin has a positive correlation to these assets. Okay? But they've now come back up into this zone. This is a fade. We understand this as you're fading the market trend. Okay? Now, if we look left, you can see that they've recovered some of the vector candles in this zone right here. Top side, they've come into this area here at 37.61 range. We still got some more vector candles, and we got this bad boy up here, ladies and gentlemen, which will be a huge imbalance for them to come and recover, which will be the 800 EMA. That'll be a nice little dream right there, ladies and gentlemen, if the S&P can continue with its move to the upside. Principally, the dominance of the dollar is going down. But why is everything holding? Why isn't Bitcoin going up? Euro making that move. We projected the rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. Seems like a level 2 rise to the upside is working, but we've got that 800 EMA, and given that the state has said that the European zone banks will not be getting any funding from the state if things are looking bad, and they're also looking at increasing the rates even more. So we've just got more turmoil happening. The cost of business is going to continue. And like we said last night in the video, the main purchasers of bonds are the Federal Reserve, commercial banks, and foreign governments. And if they're not going to be purchasing bonds, ladies and gentlemen, they're only going to one place, and we know that to be the dominance of the dollar. Okay? Now, you can see Bitcoin is trying to make a move up, looking with the recovery of this vector candle in this zone right here, ladies and gentlemen. I would strongly advise that you be cautious with this area because it is a stop hunt zone. Okay? Be mindful of that. Let's just roll over to a couple of assets. Let's go to Ethereum. Same story with Ethereum, guys. You've got Ethereum trying to come away from this range. Now, most of you guys that have got these indicators can see that the fact that they've traded away from the psychological range, and given that we've got news announcements this week, which are going to be very impactful to the Fed. Non-farm employment change, the ADP is coming out tomorrow, okay, with the ISM services PMI. On top of that, Friday is the main one, where we will understand where the unemployment rate is. If there is a reduction in the unemployment rate, the Fed's just going to have a problem with inflation, full stop, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just going to give us more of a hawkish stance, where they're talking about maybe 25 to 50 basis points increase on the Fed, on the actual funds rate itself. How much are they going to squeeze? Now, Jerome Powell said it. He will push the economy into... He will make the economy struggle just so that they can achieve their 2% inflation target, which roughly is around about 4.5% right now. But if they're going to go to 2%, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see some pain in the marketplace. And that's not me trying to give you some FUD. That's me just telling you guys what the bigger powers are trying to establish in the markets. We react to price, ladies and gentlemen. We react to movement in the charts. Now, how long will it take for these macros to roll out is a different story, but most institutional traders are looking at monthly timeframes, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Monthly and weekly, and maybe a daily time frame itself. The algorithms do the hard work by building all these positions and start moving price towards specific zones, okay? Now, listen, principally, if Bitcoin can't hold the 20K range, again, it's acting as a psychological region. All right? Are we coming out of what appears to be the, oh my days. Let me sort this bad boy out. I don't believe it. Why is it doing this to me? Forget that. Forget the glass node. The glass node, ladies and gentlemen, is talking about the capitulation chart on the glass node is showing movement coming up, okay? but it's not really giving me that convicted move that we are coming out of capitulation just because of a nice little move up by Bitcoin, okay? Let's just have a look at what assets out there in terms of altcoins are actually doing the numbers today. Let's have a look. So topside winner is Render Token. We know what this means, ladies and gentlemen. A big move like this grants traders to go in and buy it so that they can end up being the sell side liquidity. You're going to run any longs from this zone right here, guys. Just be very careful. Pay yourselves if you've already taken the trade, but make sure you don't play any longs right now because this is a news play and it's just a big pump so that they can encourage traders to start buying from here so that they can sell straight into them by the principle of premium and discount, okay? Rolling over, we've got LUNC making a nice play to the upside, coming into the vector candle recovery that we spoke about this week, ladies and gentlemen. Just a straight move to the upside. We do have some more imbalance up here that we'd like to see LUNC try and continue with the move up towards. But if Bitcoin is going to be breaking down from here, but the dominance of the altcoins comes in, happy days. Okay? Mike, what's good, man? Elgarand, not stopping. Look at this bad boy right here. Continuous movement to the upside. All eyes on Elgarand because, guys, when it retraces, it's going to come back with a vengeance. So just be cautious of that. If you're going to try and ride moves to the upside with this asset, just look at it on the 1 hour time frame. Okay? Shifting out. Green vectors. Pushing up. M4 pivot. M2 confirm. M4 pivot projection. Come down to test the M3 pivot. Continuation to the upside is what the principle would say. Okay? Matic. Also flying up. Solana making a move, recovery of the red vector candle in this range, ladies and gentlemen. There's red vectors inside of Solana inside this zone. XRP trades nicely, and I'm going to be straight with you. XRP does trade really well, okay? Sometimes it moves great, sometimes it doesn't, but it's coming back into vector candles, and we've also got the psychological high and low in the chart, which is going to give us an understanding if market maker is going to sell off from this point. At top side, the stops might actually finalize in this area here. So this is your stop hunt zone. Because if you're going to try and run along from here to see XRP coming up into this zone right here, then what if it doesn't continue? Ultimately, you're going to want to wait if you're going to catch the short from this zone because they would have released the liquidity from this area. Okay? Go over to Bitcoin a second. Bitcoin coming into that area right there, 1.1. There's an even distribution of accumulation and distribution inside of this area here. Volume isn't present. Delta's coming in at 20%, but we still got a little while yet until that candle finalizes. Let's go over and look at XLM. Big movements by XLM as well. Recovery of the red vector candle in the range. Coming out towards the psychological areas again. So that's a bit of a cause for concern because it can turn from this point to look to come back down to recover the vector candles in this zone. What have we got here? BNB. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Recovery of that red vector candle. We spoke about it last night. No, a couple of days ago. Happy days to anyone that may have taken that trade. Yippee-ki-yay to the upside. I like BNB when it does this madness in the chart. But remember, when we come to previous pools of liquidity, that is where traders who are buying become the sell side liquidity. So we expect a bit of a reversal in the chart. Okay? Be mindful of that. What else have we got? Who else is a GRT? Graph token, here we go. It's moving nicely. We've got a vector zone right here. I believe that if the altcoin dominance is going to come into play, then we're going to see these moves happen and play out to the upside. And Bitcoin, there it is, testing that zone. What time is it, ladies and gentlemen? 7 minutes until the start of a new futures markets. Let's just go over to some Forex right now. So Euro is finalizing what we would understand to be a W formation, rise, retrace, continuation up. They form the level 2 breakout, which tells us that we would be expecting Euro to try and pull back down from this zone to test the narrative to initiate a continuation to the upside. But we've got the 800 EMA in sight, which could be a bit of a cause for concern, and news announcements this week might actually send Euro lower. Okay, if the news isn't favorable for the dollar, in the sense where traders will then go back into dollar, all right? Because you got to understand, dollar right now is taking profits, all right? You can't see this bad boy moving up continuously. It's taking profits, it's recovering vectors, and this is the zone right here where dollar, in essence, reversed from. So we are now waiting for more information. We're waiting to see if the narrative says that we're going to see dollar coming back up when it's finalized this area right here. If dollar can break beyond the 109 mark, then we're going to be rolling into this vector candle zone right here. And that's where I really want to see dollar going. because then that will tell us that traders aren't favoring dollar dominance anymore. That tells us now that they're taking profits, but we need to be mindful that dollar could actually shoot back up on news announcements by the end of this week. So just remind yourself, when dollar is dropping, assets against the dominance of the dollar will be going up. So assets like gold, look at gold, making that nice move up, recovery of that red vector candle in that range. But we have news announcements. The move itself is just not sustainable given the current turmoil that's happening in the markets. So if you are in profitable positions, pay yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, so you can get back in and run the move to the opposite direction and be sitting with madness in the chart, okay? Lunacy, what's going on with Lunacy? I know you guys want me to talk about Lunacy. Here we go. Where's that madness with Lunacy? I don't see madness with Lunacy. I see vector candle recoveries in Lunacy. I see imbalances in the chart, ladies and gentlemen, that need to be finalized. I see sell-side liquidity coming in and picking up Lunacy. I do see Luna wanting this vector candle on the pumps to the upside. I do see Luna chilling at its psychological low and staying at its daily open. I see Luna as a cheap asset. I see Luna as a volatile madman. Be mindful with the assets that you trade, ladies and gentlemen. You can get shaken out. You've got to give your asset a chance to move. Dollar yen, where you at? Vector recovery, still holding, waiting for news announcements. There's a reason why they're holding dollar yen, ladies and gentlemen, with the idea that the dominance of the dollar might actually be coming back into play, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to be very careful because that 150 range could be a promise. We need to see what Mr. Kuroda's going to be talking about tomorrow. Where is it? Yes, Thursday, Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda talking regarding what their stance is on whether the intervention is going to be helping the yen, because the yen is taking an absolute nosedive, nearly 25, 30-year lows, ladies and gentlemen. This was a traditional safe haven for assets across the board investors, and it ain't behaving that way right now, is it? Aussie yen. Aussie yen, by the principle of the carry trade, is showing that people are now transacting on the dollar and getting rid of their assets, which is why Aussie yen itself actually trades down. Now, we've got 4 minutes until the start of a new futures markets itself. They are tipped to be opening strongly, ladies and gentlemen. What are you guys saying in the chat? Polkadot, let's have a look at Polkadot. Here we go, crypto. Let's have a look. Qcoin. Yeah, let's just do DOT. I'm sure they can do DOT on USDT. There we go. Polkadot, is that the same as? What am I doing, man? Sorry, forgive me. I want one with lots of liquidity. Here we have a go. There we are. Let's have a look at this one. DOT moving up slowly into vector zones itself. Futures, not really giving me that conviction. It's premature moves, man. They're not really giving me that belief that, yeah, okay, look, if everything comes back down to test its daily open, because price is holding at its highest point, guys, what you want to be mindful of is the 5 and 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. If you are already in trades, if price invalidates these two zones right here, then you would consider trying to take some profit. Why? Because if they do break below the 5 and 13 EMA, a retrace back into it will give you the idea if they're going to continue higher, which will then tell you if they can't continue, then they're looking down to work previous structures in the chart. Okay? So be mindful of that. I know Quant has been doing some interesting things, ladies and gentlemen. Check Quant out. Here we go. Look, 90% of the altcoins are at this point, and you've heard me say it to you before, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know where you are with the altcoins and which ones to trade. Go to the altcoin total market cap itself, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And look what assets are doing. If most of the assets are trading above the 50 EMA, then you are looking for assets to come back down, okay? Because there's going to be profit-taking opportunities. The assets that are trading below the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, if the assets across the board maintain this move up, then those assets below the 50 are going to break out and move higher, okay? But you've got to be very cautious given where we are in the environment of the marketplace. I can't tell you when to buy or when to sell because I don't know what your leverage is. I don't know what your risk is, okay? Some of you might be able to run a short from here and put a liquidation point all the way at 50K. But there are traders out there that might not be able to have that luxury. There are traders that might only be able to run a short from here and only have a liquidation point of 20,200. well, you're in a stop hunt zone. So you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get stopped out because Bitcoin does have the tenacity to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? SHIB. You want me to talk about SHIB? Let's have a look. Well, it's a tricky coin, man. Look, all this spiky behavior. I don't like these sort of assets because they're just so spiky. All right? Yeah, great volatility, but man, if you're using high leverage, you're getting shaken out every 5 minutes, man. You got to be careful with these sort of assets. You want to be aiming for high, expensive coins. Okay? GALA. Let's have a look at GALA. Here we go. GALA making a nice move up. Trades nicely. Recovery of the vector candle right here, ladies and gentlemen. Going into imbalances. That's what we want to see, which tells me that Ethereum still stalling there, waiting for the futures. Ladies and gentlemen, the futures market is now open. Let's start having a conversation. Here we go. Go into the smaller time frames to understand where we are. Nasdaq is moving up quite aggressively as well. So we're waiting for that. Bitcoin on Bookmap. Here we go. No test of the VWAP itself. We've got some commitment. 1,000 Bitcoin at 20,120. And we've also got 20,320 up there with 974 Bitcoin. But we really need to see, I want to see a test of the VWAP before price goes up, man. I want to see the test of the VWAP because they've been liquidating shorts, but the frequency of liquidation of shorts hasn't really been happening just yet. But we've got two big delta orders. So 1,000, so hold on. We have had 5,498 Bitcoin orders at this top side right here. And then next zone will take us to 823. And then this one at 2,283 orders of Bitcoin. Now, excuse me, principally, you would assume that Bitcoin would continue up. The sell sides is showing that the order book is favoring an imbalance to limit sales. Okay? So if Bitcoin's going to continue up, ladies and gentlemen, from this point, it will be a stop hunt. Because if they're trapping traders long in this area, then we would expect them to start coming in. Check this out. When you zoom in closer into the Bookmap, you're going to gauge a clearer indication of how likely that journey is going to play out in our favor to the upside. Okay? Here we go. We got some movement. Here we go. Here we go. Little bit of movement right there. Accumulation of orders. Let me just break this down. Here we go. Bitcoin moving up. Stop hunt region. Nasdaq's moving away from its point of control. This could be a nice move up, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful. Be careful with the sharp plays here. Market orders are now coming in. Futures tip to open stronger. Here we go. Green vector candle. Now, the fact that a green vector candle has appeared, it is 2 minutes for us to understand if this candle means business. Okay? We haven't taken out this area here. US Brinks is doing its business. 73,000 liquidations coming in. Here we go. Is this the stop hunt? Lots of people stepping in, buying. What are my yields doing? Here we go. Yields coming down. That's good news. Nasdaq shooting up. That's a good sign. But this is for the short term. Remember, if assets are moving up for the short term, it could be a climatic plays right now. The market is absorbing liquidity right now. Market orders are being fulfilled and open, which is why the Brinks box itself is a tricky time. You wait until 3 p.m. We've got news announcements coming out in the next 30 minutes or so. So whatever happens from now until then, Bitcoin can shoot up, it can go down. Wait until the news comes out. Here we go. Lots of traders coming in right now in the order book. Look at that. A few traders are trapped inside of this area. We want to know if this is going to be sustained and continue to the upside. 20,100. Look at how fast they're moving in this area, guys. This is madness. Yeah, and it is smaller time frames, but you got to understand you're working and you're looking at algorithms working their numbers right here. Okay? And this is what we try to look for. This is exactly the same story again. Brinks box forming at the highs. Stop hunt, rise, drop. That's what we would anticipate. If the commitment comes in to see Bitcoin move higher, top side, we need to break this 20,192, which would then see the liquidation zone of that 20,250 area getting taken. Up here. That's what we're waiting for. Look at that. Sharp play back down. Look at that. Stop hunt. Everyone's come in and started to buy Bitcoin. Now they're going to pay the price. Now we want to know the proof of this move, if it's going to sustain itself. This is the brinks. You start your day trading. Wait for this area to finalize. So sit back and watch the charts for 30 minutes. Can you do that? Because if you can't wait for the market to show its hand, then you're going to be that person that goes long on this area. Now, some of you might have taken advantage of a long and made some money. Happy days. You paid yourself your scalpers. Whip it. You know, wicked. Whipped, you know. This guy's mumbling away. Okay? The next 30 minutes are going to dictate. If the JOLTS job opening's coming favorable and that there are less people there's less work available, then that's sort of good news. Because we need the employment market to come down naturally, rather than the Fed forcing it by making things expensive. Okay? Here we go. Coming back up to attempt 700 Bitcoin at 20,100. We know that there's $1 billion worth of short liquidations in this zone. Okay? Are they getting traders committed to go long, to add to the $1 billion worth of liquidity down below? Here we go. Big push right there. What was that? Wow. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like they want that liquidity. Looks like they want it. Will they take it? This is liquidations. Look, 204,000. People are being liquidated right now. Okay? Lots of liquidations are happening right now, guys. Still 20,114 zone. Nasdaq is moving up nicely, trading away from its point of control. Yields are going down. Dollar dominance seems to be going down as well. That's good news for Bitcoin. USDT, is it going down? Yep. USDT rolling over, ladies and gentlemen. What a story. How you doing, gang? What's good, Brandon? Hope you're well, my friend. Boomer moment. I know. Look, this is what I'm saying to you guys. The first 30 minutes of the markets are always going to be the craziest time. And it's also the best time to trade if you catch the right direction. But if most of you are new to trading, wait until the fact that news is coming out very shortly. This is where we can get caught out. Let's look at Exo Charts. Where's the liquidity? Delta's coming in lower. Market maker selling into premium. Imbalance. Unfinished auction. Back up into that zone. Yet again, the same sell side. Look, 1.5, 1.5. Something's brewing from here, ladies and gentlemen. We've just hit the day's high. Go even closer. We can see that zone right there. What have we got here? Got quite a few high volume nodes in that area there. Pretty interesting. 2.1 million sells in that zone right there. Delta's coming at 22 million, volume rising, but the delta is actually lower. That's telling me something. Right. I want to see Bitcoin come back to the daily for it to continue back up, to be honest with you guys, and to come back down to the VWAP. That's what I want to see it do. Look how they just missed that liquidity up there. They're committing a lot of traders right now. Nasdaq is rolling over just for a second. S&P, top side, coming in. Green vector. Is that a green vector? There it is. Green vector candle. Is this the stop hunt? Is this the stop hunt before news? Bitcoin coming back down again. Here's that stop hunt play right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kill that off. Okay, then. What time are we on? Ouch, 22. Right, listen. Blue vector candle happening. In the next 20 minutes, the news will come out. All right? I can't stress it to you. Just wait till the news comes out, ladies and gentlemen, so the market can absorb it, because then you're going to know where we stand. Because if the news comes out that there's less people taking on the jobs, then we're going to see the reaction by the market in reference to the dominance of the dollar. And we're going to see that result happening in the yields itself, because they've all been taking a nosedive for the past few days. If you've got profits, pay yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love you and leave you. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. I've pinned to the top of the chat access to masterclass sessions. Get yourself over to the Traders Reality website where you can download these indicators free of charge. Bookmap is a premium service. You do have to pay for it, but you do get a free version on the web platform itself. Be mindful of this. So remember, news is coming out very shortly. So this could be the play to manipulate the range. Okay? We know there's $1 billion worth of liquidity to the top side of the chart. So if you are new, get with the flavor, get with the pattern watchers, and I will check in with you guys later on today. Mad love and respect, guys. Take care of yourselves. Peace.